Sometimes it's just not possible or practical to vectorize an operation. In such a case, you can, of course, use a for loop. This results in a very common coding pattern. Loop over the elements of the array, apply the operation to each element, and assign the result to an output array. And then when the code analyzer shouts at you, remembering to pre-allocate the result. This often happens when you need to do something to each element of a cell or structure array. For example, how do you find the length of each vector in a cell array? The length function returns the length of the cell array itself. Then when you use a for loop, you need to remember which brackets to use when passing each element to the length function. So to simplify this common pattern, you can use the arrayFun and cellFun functions. They take two inputs, an operation to perform and an array to apply the operation to, element by element. ArrayFun applies the operation to each element of the array as if you were indexing using parentheses. CellFun applies the operation to the contents of each element as if you were indexing using curly braces. To specify the operation, use a function handle. You can create one by preceding the name of the function with an @ symbol. So to get the length of each vector in a cell array, use cellFun, the length function as the operation, and the cell array. Structure arrays are indexed using parentheses, so use arrayFun to operate on each element. And to apply a function to the contents of a field, specify the field in the input function. By default, ArrayFun and cellFun expect the operation to return a scalar result for each input element. If that's not the case, say you were finding size instead of length, use the uniform output flag. Reducing a loop to a single function call also means that you can use the result directly within other operations. For example, finding the size of the longest vector in a cell array can be performed with one line of code, without having to create a new variable. So if you find yourself looping through elements of an array or the contents of those elements, try simplifying your code with ArrayFun and cellFun.